Thank you, Christy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Take a breath. How is everyone this morning? Fresh. I like that. Fresh. I like that we're having a little rain today outside. It feels light to me. It feels so good. Welcome to Tucson New Thought and our 9 a.m. contemplative gathering. I am Reverend Jonathan Zenz. For those of you who are here, I know you all. If there's anyone watching online, that if this is your first time and you don't know who I am, that's who I am. We gather together every single Sunday as a spiritual community to understand and know one thing only, and that is that we are the full expression of love. That love is an infinite creative power, an infinite creative source, an infinite creative energy, and that is who and what we are, and there's absolutely no separation from the infinite creative energy and us. So that is what we celebrate. It sounds like a lot of things that we are here to know, but it's really just one thing. Love. Love is. So there we are. Oh, we are here to create a world that works for everyone. That is the vision of Tucson New Thought, and we do this by providing practical tools for personal transformation and awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. That is our mission here. And so what I would love for you to, well, actually I should let you know what I know about you, as I do every single week, right? Just that one reminder, and it is this: you are magnificent. Yes, you're welcome. I would love for us to just take a look around the room for just a moment and look at the faces of the people who are here and just acknowledge and recognize the magnificence that is their infinite divine selves expressing so beautifully, so beautifully here this morning. Another thing we do every single week is this ritual that I just absolutely adore, and I still am trying to figure out where I'm ever going to be for this. I'm going to stand over here this time. But I'm going to invite Grace to join me on stage, and she's going to help me out. Thank you, Grace. So this is a ceremony we do every week called Lighting the Flames of Faith. And what we are doing is, as we light each candle, we are doing so in recognition of the faith traditions of the world, with this understanding that each and every one of them is expressed from that core divine thread that I call love. And so, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. This final candle we light is a candle to represent the healing of any circumstance which requires divinity to be revealed. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. Thank you, Grace. Yes. And if I could invite your attention to the candle to your right. This is our peace candle. And we keep this candle consistently illuminated with this understanding that as peace is in constant illumination within our own hearts, we spread that light from within to create peace and peaceful experiences in this world. And so we utilize this modified prayer for protection, which was originally written by James Dillett Freeman, to honor this notion. So if you would please read this with me. Truly, the light of peace surrounds us, the love of peace enfolds us, the power of peace protects us, and the presence of peace watches over us. Wherever we are, peace is. I have something that I want to mention with relationship to this prayer, because we have changed a word in there. Wherever it says peace, the original prayer was written that that word would be God. Some of you may be familiar with that. And I've had some people ask, why do you change the word? And I said, well, we utilize it specifically for this notion. But one of the things that we teach within this philosophy as well is that God is simply a word, and there are attributes and adjectives in alignment with that word that we can replace in that poem in any way, because it all means God. It all means this infinite divine creative power. So we could just as easily say, truly the light of love surrounds us. The love of love enfolds us, and so on and so forth. Or life. The light of life surrounds us. The light of joy. The light of happiness. The light of infinite wisdom. The light of beauty. We can put whatever synonym for God we want to put into that, and it affects us in exactly the right way. So let's take that notion into mind as we relax into this time of quieting. And as we do so, I'm going to invite you to consider this month's affirmation, which is, I am infinitely unfolding in more magnificent ways every day. And so if it's comfortable and safe for you to close your eyes if you'd like to do so, hearing these words once again, I am infinitely unfolding in more magnificent ways every day. And breathing into that notion, just letting yourself fall into the easeful rhythm of your breath. Not forcing it, just deepening into the awareness that it is happening. There is nothing you need to do to make it happen. The breath is the reflection of the infinite flow of spirit in, through, and as all things, and so it is what we are. And if we consider those various synonyms for God: love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, wisdom, harmony. Whichever one resonates with you right now, allow yourself to place a focus on that notion, on that idea. And with each breath in, consider that you are breathing in that notion. And as you breathe out, you are breathing out whatever it is that you have in mind. And this room is filled with those attributes, the infinite divine attributes of divine power, creative source, the good, the peace, the harmony. Further deepening into this understanding that this is ever present. And so we can, at any time, allow ourselves to settle back into this idea, into this notion, into this truth, that the good is fully expressed by means of each and every one of us. For there is only that one power. that one presence, the one, the thing itself. And this is who and what we are. Trusting this, knowing this, I live in gratitude for this understanding, and I simply relax into this perfection. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. And so it is. Thank you, Christy. Sometimes I stop to see if Spirit wants to just say something. I feel like today is a little bit even more. It's the rain. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Would you please provide for me a number between 25 and 423? 362. 362. Didn't we have this page last week?
No, it was in the 400s.
Interesting. Well, let's face it, he says the same thing over and over and over for about 400 pages. I'm like, I feel so certain that this is what we used last week. One, two, there are 3 paragraphs that I can choose from. Which one shall I? 3?
3.
Oh, gosh.
All right,
All right, I just need to give you a trigger warning for those of you who have particular issues with words that... Well, frankly, I have to give you the trigger warning because there are words that I'm about to read that are a little bit triggering for me, and that is something for me to look at. One of the words that I'm going to read is worshiper. And that's a challenge for people when they come to this philosophy because they have this concept of worship as I am supplicating myself to something outside the self. And this is framed with that context. So before I read this, I just want us to remember that there are aspects of this book which I feel we have evolved past. He is utilizing a particular language for a time that was able to resonate with these words more effectively as we learned how to engage the creative spirit in our lives, because we were deepening into the understanding that there is no separation. So the paragraph begins like this. An evolved soul is always a worshiper of God. I know, right? No, we can still find nuggets of magnificence in this. And I'm gonna break it down and help us understand how we can start to reconcile the archaic language. Yes, we can, absolutely. What did we come up with in class instead of worship? It was something we talked about in class. Now I can't remember what it was. I do have a recording, but I can't go listen to it right now. Well, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. So I've gone off the rails. An evolved soul is always a worshiper of God. They worship God in everything, for God is in everything. God not only is in everything, but they are more than everything. They are in. Oh, if I looked at there's no punctuation, I thought there was a comma there. They are more than everything they are in. That's the meaning. I'm like, what?
I got the word.
All right, and then he has a Bible quote, so just heads up. It's from the New Testament. And the quote is this: "Ye are the light of the world." That is God in us. All that we are is God, yet God is more than all we are. Well, this just is perfect. I see a hand.
I got a word as a suggestion.
What's the word? Knower? I think I know what word we came up with in class, actually. Kinship. Kinship. Deepening into the understanding an evolved soul is always in kinship as God. How about that? And he basically goes on to say that. When we understand and know at the root level that we are that which is one of the primary tenets. You know, it's funny because we used to, in our old space, I had the tenets, on the wall permanently, where it said, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. So this is very much in alignment with all of those. When we love only, when we live in that understanding that we are the infinite expression of the infinite expression, when we recognize and know that we are of divine creative energy, when we know that at the core of our being, whatever that movement means, when we know that at the core of our being, then how can we expect anything other than love? And when we expect love in our life, we are met with only love. But that relies upon the third part of the tenet. I'm not going to talk so much about the forgive everything, because it's important, but it's not part of today's talk. As though it's there. The third part of the tenet, can't you see it written there? Remember who you are. Remember who you are. This is the crux of the whole thing, of the entire philosophy for me. That I truly found that my life shifted dramatically towards experiencing only love when I remembered who I was, and I made that a practice. It's not about you go about your day and every once in a while you go, oh yeah, I remember who I am. It's about maybe starting that way, going about your day. Oh gosh. So I used to do this thing. when I was in Toronto. And people started laughing because I would say, you're going about your day. And then you have this moment of illumination. I remember who I am. And in that moment, I just got goosebumps, right? When I remember who I am in that exact moment, that deepens me into the recognition that whatever has preceded that moment or whatever I anticipate is to unfold ahead of me, none of that matters because I know who I am right here and right now. And in this moment, all is well, all is good. I expect love only. Now, sometimes there are occasions when we maybe walk into a collective consciousness that is not in alignment with that notion of expecting love only. And our jobs as New Thought practitioners, and whether you're a licensed practitioner in this philosophy or not, if you are utilizing the principles of this philosophy, you are a practitioner of this philosophy. If you are utilizing those principles, then whenever we walk into a room, have you ever walked into a room and you're like, ooh, the energy in here is really awful? Yeah, I've never had that experience, just ever. No. You walk into the room, and if I experience that, I'm just going to talk about my experience. If I experience that walking into the room, I'm at a place of choice. To stop myself in that moment and say, I remember who I am. And so irrespective of the proliferated energy all around me, I can change the tone of that entire room just by my presence, first and foremost. And as I express love only and expect to be met with love only, that is in alignment with another quote of Ernest Holmes, that one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. But I will also let you off the hook, because sometimes what happens is you walk into that room with the depressed or angry or whatever energy that doesn't feel in alignment with love only, and we buy into it. And then we have the experience because that has become our conscious. That's what we are leading with in consciousness. So it all comes down to recognizing that we are in choice at all times around how we choose to be in the world. And when we let our conversations descend, as so many do, especially in that wonderful place called the internet, when we let the conversations descend into something that doesn't feel so good or feels challenging, or we are seeing the challenges coming from, people with whom we have disagreement, we're at choice. We're always at choice around our relationship to those circumstances. And that's, I think, another important thing to remember, is that we're always addressing the relationship we have to the circumstances that we are immersed in. So are you deciding today to live as love only and remembering who you are? Because ye are the light of the world. Just like that candle, which then I joked on Wednesday, because of course, the thing is, it's a metaphor. We have it lit when you come in here, but we don't leave it on all week because we don't want the batteries to wear down. But I have been thinking about how I can permanently wire it so that we can plug it in and have it consistently illuminated. But just as a metaphor, keeping the candle always lit is a reflection of that which is always lit within our hearts, and that is the light of the world. Ye are the light of the world. But if you decide to hide that when you walk into that room of depressed or angry energy or whatever it is you're walking into, the concept of less than or the concept of fear, if you proceed with light exuding from your beingness, you will change not just that room, but the world. The entire experience of life changes. All that we are is God. There is absolutely no place where God is not. Well, I bruised myself over there. I forgot. All that we are is God. Everything that we perceive as matter is spirit in form. Because all it is energy. And God is energy. That good, orderly direction. That greatness on demand. That energy is you. That energy is me. There's absolutely no separation. That energy is the candles. It is the microphone. It is the carpet. It is the speaker. It's the chair. It's the very breath we breathe. It's the rain. It's the sunshine. It's the clouds. I've spent a lot of time in the last couple days in nature. We went out to the Desert Museum on Thursday. We spent time at the Botanical Gardens on Friday. We went to hike Sabino Canyon yesterday. This is, my in-laws are in town, and so we've all been doing these outings. And, I love being a tourist in my hometown. And these are all things I've done before, but, going and allowing ourselves to revel in those spaces, that always brings back to me the deepest understanding that there's absolutely no separation. And the more I connect with nature, the more I recognize I am nature. And so I talked about it on my mindful moment a couple days ago. I said, get out, be in nature, allow yourself to recognize and know that you are that very expression of nature. And celebrate that. Celebrate that. You are the light of the world. What always comes to mind, though, is there's a musical called Godspell. And the musical is based on the parables of Jesus. And there's a song called Light of the World. And so I can't not hear, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if that light is under a bushel, it's lost something kind of crucial. You've got to stay bright to be the light of the world. Those very lyrics are saying we are always at choice. Always. You've got to stay bright. Choose to be bright today. Choose to be bright. As an evolved soul is always in kinship as God. And that's what I think is the important message today. So I leave you with that. And so it is. I'm not going to sing You Are the Light of the World. Oh, I've got it somewhere. Not right this moment. But I'm going to invite you to take whatever has touched your soul in this moment and settle into the deepest understanding. That while we can experience this thing called divine light, this infinite presence, this greatness on demand, in every aspect of our lives, it is irrespective of the circumstances that we always have the opportunity to remember who we are. It feels good to me to know that that which is feels more palpable when I'm rooted in the silence. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence, I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself. And so it is. I don't need notes. Why do I need notes for this? I just want to take this moment in. I'm going to invite you to take out whatever it is you're offering the center today. I may have a look of confusion because I thought I had one of my stones on me, but I don't. Take out whatever it is you're offering the center today. Hold it in your hand and recognize and know the energy that you have there in the palm of your hand. It is infinite. It is a pure, perfect expression of all that is. For money is love in action. Money is peace in action. Money is joy in action. Money is God in action. There's absolutely no separation with that which you are holding, and the infinite divine circulation that it represents. And so as it moves through this time and this place, it does so with this in mind, that it does great work. For that is the power that we have infused in it consciously, the capacity to do great work. And so let's honor that. I live in the deepest blessings of gratitude for all that you give this center. And as you hold that, let us read together the divine givingness statement with gratitude in our hearts. And let us really understand this, not just read it by rote because we do it every week, but really understand what we're saying here. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so as the basket is passed around, we'll sing our gratitude song. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Thank you, Britt, if you would. And so it is, yes, 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 yes. Let's just take this opportunity to reflect and know that what has been collected here is good and it is blessed and it is moving through this time in this place with the greatest integrity in its utilization. That the board, the leadership of this organization utilizes these funds in integrity and with the highest consciousness involved. And so I live in gratitude for all that is, with the reflection and understanding that this is all one thing, one power, one energy unfolding at all times, and this is who and what we are. So in gratitude for this, I simply let it be as I relax, release, let go, and trust and know that it is so. As together we say, and so it is. I want to say thank you to I want to say thank you to Aidan for providing our technical support and allowing us to be heard, seen, and I keep forgetting this. Lights, Apple TV, Darwin.
Good morning, everyone. Here are your Tucson New Thought announcements for Sunday, March 8th, 2020. This coming Wednesday's midweek spiritual practice is another deepening meditation led by Reverend Jonathan. Join him for a heart-opening experience with a focus on the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. The meditation begins at 6 o'clock p.m. this Wednesday. Join Dr. Dream on March 28th as he brings his tour of love to Unity of Tucson. This is a fun and unique 3-hour healing bowl event. 111 Tibetan singing bowls coupled with essential oils and raw cacao. Learn about the chakras, how to balance them, and master the use of affirmations. There is no other event like it. Keep an eye on the information table to get notices for this event. Not on our email list? Sign up today by filling out a form on the information table and receive 5 pre-recorded affirmative prayers from Reverend Jonathan. These prayers are designed to support you in the primary areas of your life. Also, if you find you need spiritual support, fill out a prayer request form and place it in the Yes box on the information table. The moment you make the commitment to an uplifted understanding and request prayer, the healing begins. For more information on everything that is happening at Tucson New Thought, check out our website at tucsonnewthought.org. And like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search for Tucson New Thought on these various platforms. Thank you for being here and sharing your magnificence with us.
Thank you, Darwin, yes. There was do I call it a late-breaking bit of information that came in after I had sent him the script for the announcements this week that I want to share with you all. A couple weeks ago, I sang a particular song. Started off like this. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. But I sang it in the 10:30 gathering, so I didn't sing it in the earlier gathering. That song was written by a magnificent being named Jamie Lula, and I had said in that 10:30 gathering that I was looking to bring him here and that he and I had been talking about bringing him here in November. Well, little did I know that he had been in talks with Center for Spiritual Living Tucson and Unity Center of Peace Tucson to be here, and it's coming up in a couple weeks, March 22nd. So I'm giving you the information. You can get tickets to see Jamie, and I'm telling you, absolutely worth going to see this man. He is magnificent. He is brilliant, and I'm so grateful that he's going to be here in a couple weeks. You can get your tickets at TucsonCSL.org. The other thing is, for that and for the Tibetan Bowl experience, there are flyers on the information table that have all the information. Well, that's why I guess I would put them on the information table. but they are there for you to take, so you have access to that information. Yeah, so I'm super excited that Jamie's going to be here, and I guarantee you I'm going to be there, so join me for that. And I will be at the Singing Bowl event. Also, if you have a willingness to be an angel at that event, the Singing Bowl event, and what I mean by that is that's the language that Unity is using with me, to volunteer to help support Dr. Dream. It would mean a couple hours before they start and staying a couple hours after they start, and part of it is you need to be able to lift the bowls. But if you have an interest in supporting that, then you can have the experience with Dr. Dream and at no charge, because you'd be volunteering to help out at the event. So if you have interest in that, let me know, and I will put you in contact with Unity so that we can make those arrangements. So yes, I've thanked Aiden. Thank you again, Aiden. I want to say thank you to Grace for helping out with the candles. Thank you to Britt for greeting us all with a beautiful, beautiful smile this morning. And of course, as always, thank you to Christy for providing our magnificent music and inspiration through song. Grateful to you. And thank you to all of you for being here, being present, and shining your light. So we're going to end today with a remembering, a remembering, a remembering. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. We are life, we are love, we are light. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. Yes, who we are is pure spirit. And so it is. Thank you all very much. Have a magnificent week. Make it a magnificent week.